jolly good. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clank Zoka, and welcome to another My Thoughts On. Today, I'll be talking about Cruella, which came out yesterday on Disney+. This is the live-action prequel all about the main villain from the 101 Dalmatian series, Cruella DeVille. This is out in cinemas also, but I decided just to watch on Disney+. I didn't really have any plans to see it in cinemas, so that's... I don't know, was the £20 worth it? Well, I was curious to watch this. The film is kind of going for this, like, Maleficent Joker style to it. However, unlike Joker, this is not as gory or as violent, but still not really kids' material, you know? So, yeah, it's interesting, I can say that. It's very interesting. So, basically, it's about Cruella, Estella, and she is played by Emma Stone, one of my favourite actresses. After losing her mother to this Baroness, who's played by Emma Thompson, also one of my favourite actresses, she goes to London, where she was supposed to go with her mother, and then she decides to do a fashion job because she likes making clothes for, you guessed it, oh yeah, you guessed it, the Baroness. And she teams up with these two two gang thieves, Jasper, who's played by Joel Fry, and Horace, who's played by Paul Walter Hauser. Heiser. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know. And they both decide to help her try out these dresses and go above the Baroness, pretty much, and just become the Cruella DeVille that we all know. However, things start to get out of hand when the Baroness's eye is 100% on Cruella and the two boys, so they're going to need more than just robberies and invasions. But there are secrets, there are twists, I guess, that occur in this feature. Was there really an origin story for Cruella? Did anyone know? I don't know, but here we are. Ooh. Okay. This is really nothing spectacularly special. This seems like your typical prequel to a character that will turn out to be the big villain. But first, you gotta root for the villain in order to defeat the higher up. Kind of like Joker and Peter Pan in a way, I suppose. We've got this character who seems to be quite shy and quite mild-mannered, but also very kind, but also, mainly, they're evil inside, but then it all comes out. As an origin story, I would say it's well told, but at the same time, this is highly coincidental and also kind of dumb. This is a pretty stupidly all over the place film, I'll be very honest with you. The story is nothing special. It's told decently, I suppose. Gives you just a rough idea of who she is and where she came from and how she got up to becoming the villain, of course. Of course. You know? And the big factor of the film is just how she became the villain, and it does get interesting, I'll say that. But there's a good chunk of the film that kind of feels like a different movie. Just hell, the film, which I'll get to in terms of visuals, doesn't even look like it's from Disney. It just looks like a completely different company, you know, or like someone else. It's really bizarre. It's it's really bizarre. The film is quite predictable. There's a twist in the film which I'll admit I didn't quite see coming, but also it does make too excuse me, makes too much sense. I won't reveal it, and it's not as good as like Peter Rabbit 2's twist. And to be fair, both twists are quite painfully obvious. But this one I say is more surprising, while the other one is actually... The other one makes more sense compared to this. So yeah, there were lots of great highlighted scenes, like when Cruella is showing off against the Baroness in fashion and dresses. It's pretty interesting. It gives the film this very punk, fashionable British feel and look to it, and it's terrific. It really is. And there's also great, memorable scenes where they do pretty much what would be called a heist, just going in and just making an entrance, or a bang, I suppose. And the film does have humour to it, which is just pretty basically standard in terms of Disney humour, but it's funny. It's pretty funny for the most part, I suppose. The film is very, very predictable in terms of cliches and story beats. I won't say what they are, but let's just say if you've seen the film, you know how it plays out and you know how predictable it is. So, yeah. Dramatically, it's not particularly too bad, but there's more talking and just things going on other than that. And also, like, I don't know if I said this before, but this is too familiar. Like, this is a really familiar story that I swear I've seen before, besides Joker. I think someone made a comparison to Devil Wears Prada, which I haven't seen, but I assume it's pretty similar. Very, very, very similar. And also, they're debating that there's going to be like a 101 Dalmatians movie that Cruella de Vil will be in. They're setting up a another live action 101 Dalmatians film. Coincidentally, Glenn Close is the producer of this one. I'm not surprised. So yeah, the film's not awful. I mean, the story's not awful in a way, but it's very familiar, repeated. It's well done for the most part. It seems accurate to how she would become the villain of the pretty much of the 101 Dalmatian movies, I suppose. But in a way, it makes sense and it kind of works. But it's too familiar, too similar to Joker and even Maleficent as well, which is just kind of bizarrely eerie. It's nothing new in terms of villain origin stories, but it's done well. You know, it's done well enough. It's done well to a point where it's, I guess, different, and it is unique, I guess. I don't know. So, story is nothing special. Everything, the other elements in terms of humour is all samey, but it is rather uniquely stylish for its time period. It's got a decent story to it as well. That's pretty decently executed, and it's interesting to see how it all goes. But there are things in it that are actually really stupid, dumb, and quite over the top. But I kind of like it in a way. So, yeah, not quite evil, but devilish enough. Visuals. Now, I have a very good feeling that people will be talking about this for a very long time. Because this... Wow. Just... Wow. This is a really, really wonderful looking film. Let me just start off by saying that the designs and the dresses look fantastic. Especially what Cruella and the Baroness wears. It's a really fashion-y kind of movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were selling all that stuff from, like, Disney. Hell, this is like a Disney movie, merchandise movie. They're selling all these like earrings and necklaces. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold all this like in a jewelry shop. But those dresses, whew, they are absolutely stunning, but also genuinely well made. The film is pretty great looking too. It looks, well shot, very well shot. Great cinematography, and the effects, as little as there is not half bad. Quite obvious ones, like the Dalmatians, from what I can gather. But, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a wonderful looking film, despite the very shit CGI effects. The costumes look great. The costumes look very, very good. It's a well-shot movie. It genuinely looks wonderful and very pleasing in a way, So, yeah, the film looks amazing with fashion. Characters and acting. Cruella de Vil is delightfully devilish, as it should be. She is really funny. She is highly memorable. She's quite likeably evil, but that's kind of how she's supposed to be portrayed. Even when she's just Estella, it's also really well done as well. She's a really likeable but also very chaotic character, and I love it. And she is well portrayed here, and yeah. Casper and what was the other one's name? Horace. They don't seem like the two henchmen from the movie. They just seem like two random geezers just picked up and followed by Emma Stone just to do a few things. The characters are fine. They're just not that memorable, and they just only help her, really. Same can be said about John, who's played by Mark Strong. He's just kind of there. Until he plays a key role, which, I saw that coming. Obviously. Bloody, obviously. Everyone else does fine. There are a couple of recognisable actors from the UK, like Paul Bays or Basley from Benidorm. You got Steve Edge, who's from Peep Show, and he was in Paddington as well. You've also got, what's his name from Phone Jacker? Got to try and find him. Kayvan Novak. He plays Roger. He's from Phone Jacker. Jamie Demontry from Fleabag is here too. There are a couple of recognisable British actors, which is quite cool, and they play very minor characters who don't leave no impact in the film. And then you have the Baroness, who is, just like Cruella, a devilishly delightful character. She steals the show. She has the authority. She is delightful. But also because mainly she is played by Emma Thompson, which I'll get to in a minute, but she's likeable. Likeable in that very amusingly mean way. She is very mean. but also has the authority. But she's also just entertaining. She steals the show. My favourite character in the movie. And the acting is really fucking solid. Emma Thompson, Emma Stone, two of my favourite actresses really knock out the park here. Emma Stone puts on a really fucking spot on British accent. I mean, she's done it before in the Favourite, but it's definitely improved, and the skill of using different accents is always a good thing to use. Emma Thompson, amazing as always, and she is really fucking great here. Really great. Joel Fry is as Jasper. Could have picked anyone really. Paul Walter Hauser, who was in, I think he was in Richard Jewell. He was in I, Tonya and Black Klansman too. How about that? He's really good. He puts on a pretty good Cockney accent for Horace. It's not bad actually. It's quite convincing. I'll give him that. Mark Strong, always a delight. Always a great supporting actor. Kayvan Novak. I mean, he's Phonejacker. What's not to love? Jamie DeTromy. Even though his role in the film is quite small, he gets a very over-the-top performance, which I quite like. Very cartoonish, very good. Everyone else does fine as well. They all do good, but it's just mainly Thompson and Emma, Thompson and Stone, the two Emmas, that really, really bring in the personality and fun. But the characters, not all of them stand out, but it's just the main ones that do leave a bit of an impact. With great acting, there could be more devils than there are angels. The music choice is fucking unexpected and quite fitting. Lots of like rock songs and rock operas, I guess, but the music genuinely is fucking delightful and really fits the tone quite well. Finally, a good live action Disney movie that isn't a remake for once. And one that I can confidently say is not terrible. Far from it, actually. This is actually a pretty good movie. Cruella may not be the most original villain origin story movie, but it does make up for it with Emma Stone and Emma Thompson's fantastic performance. The costumes, the way the film looks breathtaking. It looks wonderful. Story is familiar, I suppose, and the humor's okay as well. But it is a when you think about it, this could be a good indication of this could be how she ended up as this, but who knows? I recommend it if you like movies with villains who you want to know more about their original background and where they came from. I say check it out. If you're a fan of 101 Dalmatians and you're expecting that, you're not going to find a lot of it in here. The Dalmatians are in there, but they don't play a big part. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's not as amazing as Pete's Dragon, and I'd say Christopher Robin is slightly better, but it's better than all the rest of the remakes, apart from Pete's Dragon, of course, and Jungle Book I liked more, but yeah. Oh, what should I give it? What should I give the film? I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Deviously pretty good, but not quite Cruella de Vil great. So there you have it. What a really pretty good movie, you know. So tomorrow, Arlo the Alligator Boys coming out, and then next week, got a couple of films to talk about, and then A Quiet Place Part 2. So look forward to that. If you have seen Cruella, what do you think about it? Is it good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Until next time. Oh, darling, I am not just Deville, I am Cruella. I don't know why I did that for. I'm sorry. Sorry.